fungibility, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blades. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make $1, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible is the living the dream. We're all over zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Yo, yo, yo. Oh, what's good, guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Great to see you. My background's going to bug the shit out of me all day.
Looks like orbs.
It looks like orbs, dude. We had some orb sightings. I sent you the video. We had.
I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked
yeah,
it.
was
It
good.
felt very real.
That's cool.
What do you do?
It was real.
It was. You're right. Absolutely. No conspiracies whatsoever.
No, it was somebody on a plane, and they were spooked out by it. Like at the end, well, not spooked, but man, it was crazy. It was crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll put that up.
All right,
We'll
all
put
right.
that up at some point.
Don't want to
Cool.
ruin it.
Yeah,
happy,
yeah.
Happy Wednesday, Hump Day.
Happy
Happy
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Let's see.
My
guys.
favorite.
Oh,
My favorite day of the week.
Oh, I love
Mine
it,
too.
dude.
Mine too.
I love them all. I love them all equally. Guys, smash the like. We're gonna talk some
let
Diddy
me
today.
tweet this.
We're
nice.
gonna Diddy it up. I think we have to. I don't even want
Yeah.
to.
We haven't diddied. We haven't had a freak off.
Should we have a freak off?
It's time, man. Let me
What's
get
the
my
party
whites
called?
on.
Yeah. I was gonna say, can we all go change real quick?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit. Let's hit the market. Let's take a
Aww.
peek. Yeah.
We
It's
were at
fine.
like 24, 25 yesterday. This is bullshit.
Oh yeah, you're right. We're under 26.
It's over,
Yeah.
boys.
It's
over.
over. The run was fun.
That should be the
What?
name of the show. It's over.
I like it. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it looks whatever. Bitcoin 63K, ETH 25, Solana 150. Solana's just right there, 150. Ain't budging. Just holding on for dear life. There was, I think it was a report from VanEck yesterday or today. It was bullish for Solana, saying basically if Solana gets to half the market cap of ETH, and they don't see why it wouldn't, then you're looking at like $350 Bitcoin, somewhere in that ballpark.
$350 Solana, you mean?
Yeah. There we go. Thank you. $350 Solana. So
Are you doing that on purpose with your background, Hudah, or is that just a?
no, it's yeah. There's just some settings where it like tries to like adjust something. It's doing it on its own. I'm trying to get the right balance here or setting or whatever.
Cool.
But I'm not doing it.
By the way, to our dudes down in Florida, hope you guys are buckled in if you are in the path. So I know we got some
hurricane?
Florida listeners.
Yeah.
Hurricane Helene.
Oh, big one or what?
I'd say, even to our female listeners as well. Henry likes to just do the dudes, but I like to incorporate everybody. So female listeners, I hope you guys are safely avoiding it as well.
Let me clarify, because my wife often says this when I call my kids dudes. It's an asexual term to me, even though most of the time.
I've actually talked to people about this. It's dudes, and then there's dudettes.
Yeah, the thing is, like, if I'm talking to my kid, I'm like, "Hey, dude," and she's like, "Don't call him dude." I'm like, it's just like I don't even think of it like, oh, I'm talking to a guy. It's just our dudes. But yeah, I'm with you. Our dudes and dudettes for sure.
Mhm.
Anybody in the path who may be experiencing inconveniences.
Yeah, we care. I guess the point is we care.
We do.
We care.
The point is, dude is universal. That's the point.
Who
Dude
does?
is universal. Okay, like I don't go to with my girls. I don't say, "Hey guys." I don't do that. That's different. I don't go, "Guys, come here."
Why
I
not?
don't do that. Or when I do, I catch myself. But I definitely say girls. And you know what I mean?
I'm with
But
Whirly
dude
Girl.
is like a girl.
It's genderless.
I don't know. I don't think we should. I think we should be unburdened by the past and just move forward.
Well, let's ask our fourth co-host today. Hey,
We
Butternugs, is dudes, the word dudes, is that genderless? Can I call a girl a dude?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Butternugs.
If Butternug says it's okay,
You're welcome.
Hey, what's my name?
You're Henry.
Oh, you're
wait,
fucking stupid.
what?
Yeah, she clearly is okay.
Ask
with
her
no-
again. Ask her
What's
again.
next on the agenda?
Ask her again.
Butternugs, what do you call me?
I call you my boy.
That's right.
What's up, my
Oh.
boy?
There we go. Yeah, you almost fucked it up. Yeah, we'll speak after.
Yeah,
Okay.
she clearly has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. She called.
No,
you.
she's got a good idea. Okay, so
Sorry?
ChatGPT had a big update today.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was finishing my thought before you jumped in there and smashed on it like a fucking wrecking ball. Miley Cyrus. Should I call you Miley now?
Yeah. Do you want to finish? Was it
No, I
profound?
muted him.
Yeah, Joe's been feisty this week, and he's gonna have to start
Real
getting muted
quick,
more.
while he can't talk, what is his deal?
It's all week long. All week long, like the feistiest Joe we've seen in a while. Again, I think it's just if he's going to bring back feisty Joe, we're going to bring back the Mute Brothers. We're going to mute his ass.
I it's not fair. I'm with you, Joe. It's not cool. I kind of wonder what gives. I feel like he's really, I don't want to use the word triggered because it's not, I just feel like he's really, like there's some pent up anger. Maybe he shorted Bitcoin.
You're right. Can I? I'll theorize. You're right. Could it be that you guys are dumb fucking idiots? Is that possible? Is that possible?
A little.
That's
Yeah,
possible.
always
No,
a possibility. Yeah, always.
Yeah. But you're right. I have been feisty, but I would like to chalk that up to dealing with insanity on a daily basis.
That's fair. No, no. Listen, I feel that pain. So if
And
that's
I'm
what
sure-
it is, I'm sorry.
I'm no picnic as well, so I understand.
Yeah. But market today feels like one of those days where like yesterday felt really good, right? In fact, Sniggy had said to me earlier today, he's like, Henry, he's like, I don't get it. He's like, last week on your show, you guys were talking ordinals are dead, or that, yeah, like the ordinal communities, like people are grifting from project to project. And then yesterday, you guys are like super bullish on it. And I said, well, those two things are both true.
Yes.
You know, the blue chips and maybe future mints and like Taproot Witches, like those will do well, but that doesn't take away from the fact that a lot of ordinals is hopping from project to project and that it's tough to sustain a project long term. So I don't think what we said last week means we're not and haven't been really bullish on what the next cycle is going to be in ordinals.
And I would say that I have not been bullish on it. I made the point that NFTs are kind of in a stagnation with ETH, and so it's possible that the NFTs and the ordinals are not going to do shit as well, or it's not the time.
I have a comment on that.
Please.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Does he know he's muted?
Who knows?
talking
I
to us?
mean,
Okay.
I was
I don't
yelling
know.
to somebody.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought of this yesterday, Joe. Like, because you're, let's say, out of touch with ordinals, right? You're like not keyed in.
Yep.
Yeah, it would nothing would feel like if you're not keyed into like the shit coins and ordinals and the parts of the space where it is happening versus like the ETH NFTs where it's happening in some projects but not everywhere. I don't want to say everything would feel hopeless. It would feel really different. We talked about that a little yesterday too.
We did. And I hear what you're saying. And I would say that like, you're probably right to a certain extent, but also like, I don't know. I also would just say that like the initial thought that you said, which was both can be happening at the same time, is probably the most appropriate thing to say, which is there is grifting going on there. And projects are jumping from project to project, blah, 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 blah. But also, you can be bullish on it, right? I mean, that's fine. I'd also make the argument that like, we're not back. There's a very slim amount of people that are active within all these ecosystems, and we're not truly going to be back until we get more activity from a more diverse amount, or just more people in general. So that's why you're going to have little spikes going here, up and down, up and down, up and down, rather than it being a stable climb, I would say. So I hear you. I hear you. That it's just you're engaged more so in this ecosystem than I am, but I would say that like you may be putting too much stock in like you hanging out in the discords, talking about how they're back or how they're whatever.
Let me just give you some facts that would support my stance. If you guys would have listened to Hudah last week when he brought the Mudang Alpha, if you would have only put $1 million into Mudang, 1 million, it'd be worth about what, 5.5 million right now.
Is that true?
Oh, last week? No. If you put 1 million
when you called it here, I mean,
yeah,
I thought it was at 25 million that you called.
No,
it.
I called it at 4 million.
Okay, sorry. If you would have put 1 million in when Hudah said to, or brought it up to us, you'd be sitting on like 25 million or so.
So how many millions did you make on this? Just out of curiosity.
No, I haven't made millions, but I'm like, my bag's like 4x right now.
And let me pull up the chart. I want to see what the liquidity is there
of Mudang.
How much? Yeah, to see actually.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up, but also we're gonna pull up another spicy one that's really popping up today. It's called Pesto. Pesto.
Nice. I like Pesto.
Have you seen Pesto? Have you seen the Pesto meme?
No.
It's an adorable, fluffy, fat penguin, and it's cooking.
No, and Henry, you're right. And I was thinking to myself, shit, man, I might as well take whatever soul I have and start putting it on whatever you guys are talking about at the time when you're like, oh, what's the contract address? I should jump in as well, because you're right. You know what I mean? Like,
you never know.
You never know. And not only do you never know, it's in a time. We're at a time right now where you are going to hit on some shit, right?
Yeah. I mean, Mudang looks. Yeah.
So the liquidity is 2.3 mil, right? So just for the sake of like honest Abe here, if you put in $1 million when Hudah said to do that, you're not going to extract $25 million from it because you're not able to, because the liquidity is not there. So the liquidity is 2.3. I'm assuming that that's what you can get out at this given time. I could be wrong. I'm not sure exactly how that would work, but like I think that that's a distinction that is important to note, because you can't just put in a bunch of money and then expect the liquidity.
Okay, so if you put in $1, then you could pull out 25.
And you could get it out, and you could get the 25 out.
Yeah.
If you put in $1 million, you wouldn't be able to get your 25 million out.
But other people might see that, and then they put in $1 million, and then the liquidity grows.
Absolutely.
That works. So here's that penguin one I was mentioning. Here's Pesto.
Oof, look at that candle there.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez.
Henry, buy it.
Silly season's coming. Silly season.
I feel like that is too much of a candle for me to get into.
Yep.
Smart.
But I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Would you send me the contract address?
If you do want it, I'll send it. Yeah.
What's the market cap?
I'll send it.
Pesto,
16 mil, 17 mil.
Oh yeah, I like that. Sub 50 mil. I can hang there.
There's that adorable penguin.
And I mean, come on. I hate penguins, but
penguins are disgusting. Penguins are disgusting animals.
My daughter's showing me Mudang. You heard of him? Can you want to show it? No, come. No, okay. Huh? You want me to show him?
You have like a stuffed animal Mudang.
She's got it on TikTok or something.
Oh my gosh.
It's like everywhere.
Everywhere. And it's I heard Mudang is partnering with Dick's Sporting Goods for a full clothing line. They are partnering with the NFL. All 32 teams are going to be wearing a Mudang patch.
Funny enough, there's a soccer team in Spain that's partnering with Pudgy Penguins.
I saw that. I saw that.
Which is kind of cool. But it's the season's just starting, but it's starting hot, and it's a great sign of what's coming here, I think. So we'll see. We'll see. Boys.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get to Diddy because at this rate, we'll talk.
Oh, let's get into it. Oh.
Hey, well, let's excuse me.
What do you got? What do you got, Hudah? How do you want to start this off?
Ugh, I had a Zen in. Sometimes it'll just hit me. All right, a couple stories here today. A judge, he calls some specific miners, Bitcoin miners, securities. These green box miners. I got to dig into it to see what is it like. What specifically about those? But whatever it is, do you know?
There
Henry?
was okay. There were some reader, what do they call it? Community notes on, I think it was maybe Watcher Guru's Twitter. I'll read it. It basically, because I couldn't find a lot of info and I wanted to. So unless this was fabricated, because I couldn't find it on their, let me find it here. The community note said the SEC didn't say that crypto mining devices are securities. The SEC is sustaining that Green United LLC hosting contracts, which included mining boxes that didn't mine anything, are securities. The contracts are, not the mining devices.
Okay.
Whatever, man.
If that's true, that's different than just saying that crypto mining is a security.
It sounds
mining
equally
devices are.
it does sound equally as dumb, almost, though, right?
It actually, to a certain degree, and I don't know exactly how it works, but if it is where you are investing in Greenbox or Green United, and they are doing the mining and they're paying you out, it kind of, to a certain degree, is exactly what happened with Howie and the Orange Groves. So I'm not agreeing with the SEC, but I could see the connection.
You know, after that whole Gary Gensler and all in front of the House committee yesterday, I don't know how we can say anything is like a definite security or like quote these things. You sound very confident in your description of and thesis on this. It just, after hearing the people in charge, it makes it sound like you can't really say that definitively about anything at this point in the crypto space.
It's tough. I think the thing that gets overlooked a lot of times by normies like us and people who aren't either interested in it is like, man, I do not want to defend Gary Gensler because he's a schmuck.
Do it.
But I think sometimes the minutia matters, right? Like the facts and circumstances. So I understand what he's saying when he's like, without prejudging any one particular token, and people look at that as like, fuck Gary Gensler, like they're
right.
When the reality is, like, what he's saying is, well, it depends what you did. It depends like what you did. As far as now, it seems like almost everything is a security to them, but it's like, well, what was it? Were you raising money off of it? Was there an ICO? Did you give the disclosures to investors? Did you have an exemption? So they're, again, not defending him, but I
don't know if I know exactly what you're saying, but in my head, what you're saying is that there's such a pitchfork sort of mentality when it comes to Gary that anything that he says or anything that he does, we're just like, that's fucking ridiculous and stupid. And you're saying, obviously he can't bat 1,000 all the time, but he's not always wrong on everything that he does, and sometimes it makes sense. My argument to that is you're right, but the fact that he's shooting his shot in every direction randomly makes the legitimacy of when he's actually right in a lot of these circumstances, calls that into question, and it downgrades the legitimacy of his real his real sort of focusing on bad actors. It diminishes that legitimacy in my eyes. So I almost write off a lot of the stuff that he says. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, let's move on. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good chat. Henry and his best friend Gary Gensler. It's cool. It's pretty cool.
Trying to get a job there. Trying to get a job.
Cool shit. Well, we'll stick with Watcher Guru, who they, by the way, they did delete that tweet after they got corrected because it was wrong. So glad you brought that up. BlackRock to date, guys, has bought over $23 billion worth of Bitcoin. It's a big old number.
Crazy.
Big old number. I like it. Visa is launching a tokenized asset platform to assist banks in testing tokenized assets and smart contracts. They call that building. We're building. That's what people say. Binance launching a pre-market spot trading service. with tokens. So picture like whale market or whatever it's called. I think it's whale market. You trade stuff before tokens before they're out. You got to put up collateral. So you put up collateral, you get to trade tokens. Hopefully you do that wisely because I think people get wrecked with that or can. PayPal enabling business accounts to buy, sell, hold Bitcoin and crypto.
I like that.
Cool. Yeah, cool development there.
I feel like we've announced that 13 times in the past 2 years. By the way,
they have these like little announcements. They could all be part of one, but they've allowed customers to hold, and then businesses, and then they did their stable coin, and then they did this on Solana, and then they did the next thing on ETH, and yeah, it's just kind of nonstop. But they're all like, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
Random thought I had last night because I don't know if you caught that. Don't want to go deep into this because I know we want to talk Diddy, but how a judge signed off on like basically selling off assets of InfoWars, including like the domain name, website, studio equipment, etc. Did you see that? Yeah. So I was like, man, you know what? I'm surprised.
No, I didn't see it, but that makes sense.
Oh, okay. So yeah, to pay off like the damages to like the Sandy Hook victims, etc. And I was like, it'd be interesting if somebody went in to buy it and like tokenized it, like tokenized ownership of, like InfoWars.
Dude, I almost got. There's this Elon Musk parody account, and every time I see it, I think it's Elon Musk.
Right.
It's not. And he's like, I have an idea. It would be hilarious. And it was him retweeting the InfoWars thing. I'm like, oh my God, imagine if he bought InfoWars.
Henry, can I ask a question about that? I mean, you can kind of say that about anything, really, right? Like the tokenizing, whatever. Why the InfoWars stuff? Just out of curiosity of like what made you think that? And
I was just thinking maybe because you don't often see like media for sale, like like
really.
Popular...
Well, but it was a breaking story to the InfoWars is going to be liquidated. What next month? I think that's why it came to mind, though, right?
Yeah. I'm just like, you don't often have, and I can't imagine that InfoWars is worth nearly the same amount of money as something like X or CNN or something. So I was just like, oh, it's a little more niche. It obviously leans a lot more to the crazy side of right, but there are things that Alex Jones does that like I think like he's an entertaining guy for a lot of people that maybe are in the space. So I just thought
you're saying that like he's like he almost tailored like people that watch InfoWars probably are into crypto more so than the average person. Is that kind of?
I feel like without having any facts to back it up, like I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people were like, yeah, he sparks some curiosity in certain things, even though like he can be a bit of a loon on certain things as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, like if Jon Stewart's The Daily Show went out of business or whatever, and they had to sell off all that, I doubt that he'd be tokenizing. Like that'd be the difference, right? Like,
yeah. And I don't think we'd ever even like if it was for sale, I think we would never even have a shot at it. Where this is going to auction, so I feel like that's why it was a little different. It's like, oh, it's going to auction. You could you could turn it into a security.
Nice.
Anyway,
turn it into the next Stoner Cats. Buy an NFT to access.
Yes. Yeah.
It.
Dumb idea.
Freaking love it. What else? Mt. Gox Bitcoin on the move. It wasn't much, but I didn't remember they still have almost $3 billion worth.
Funny how that was happening. We had Germany, we had Mt. Gox, and like here we are still like 63K Bitcoin.
Right?
Yeah.
Somebody had a good analogy. I don't remember who it was, but said somebody's holding. I think it was OSF. Where somebody's holding the volleyball underwater. It feels like that. It's a good way to look at it. It feels like that.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, man. I like that because like we were at 64 and change yesterday, 64.5 maybe we even hit, and it's like it just can't quite get to 65. But it's nice to see that we can. I don't know if we officially have support at like 62 or 62.5. I don't know if that's like I haven't done any TA on it, but it feels like we do.
This is a level.
Who knows at this point? Like I've heard everything under the sun by all the most respected, Bitcoin minds in our space. So like, who knows what it means?
Yeah. And I have no idea what I'm saying. Consolidation is more than likely happening at this point.
By the way, I want to peek at NFTs. I haven't all day. Here's your top collections. Yay. ETH back on top. Neat. Taproot Witches are still kind of cooking. I don't know their floor price. They dip below 0.01, but I don't know where they're at now.
I think around there, 0.09, give or take.
That's pretty impressive.
0.0087. Yeah, it's great, man. A lot of people winning on that.
Yep. And then Magic Eden, just since I'm hearing it popped up, they've got a new like profile page that is a lot more similar to OpenSea, but it actually might be better. So picture the OpenSea interface and how you browse your NFTs. It's that, but you can also build out your own custom little showcases, which is cool. Wow, 0.011. Jeez.
Nice.
Man,
Nice.
that's crazy. So the one thing I always go to OpenSea for still is to go view my NFTs. I like it. I like the display. Man, they have the whole view of your NFTs, plus it's cross-chain. So they got that, but again, then you can make your own custom showcases and show off just individual collections. And if it lets you like really customize how you display it, man, that's the last thing I go to OpenSea for. It's pretty Magic Eden's crushing it, man.
How long till OpenSea's out of business?
They could probably sustain themselves forever. I bet their operational costs are pretty low. I would guess. I think as long as they want to do it, they'll do it. But what's the incentive? They've made their money. I don't really picture they're really going to fight the SEC. My guess is why not just close?
Yeah, doesn't it feel like there's like 5 people that work there? They have made billions of dollars. Like they could legitimately just coast forever. You know?
They could.
That's what this just feels like that to me.
I like this, by the way, but only I think only Base and Polygon you can make these groups so far. But soon again it'll be Solana and ETH and whatever other blockchains they've integrated. It's really cool. It's it's nice looking. It looks exactly like OpenSea, doesn't it?
Took them long enough. I mean,
Right.
I'm surprised they didn't, get to this sooner.
Yep, dude, they're
Or
building
anybody,
much.
really.
Yeah, they're just fucking runes building out their swap. They got their wallet now. They got the nicer display. They got a lot. They're just always pushing new products, and it's why Yuga's pushing in that direction too. New products, just
Well, they're
products
degens. They get it.
Yeah.
They get it, and that's where they are completely different than OpenSea.
Can we just talk about Diddy? I feel like I'm just getting teased this whole show.
Okay, final tease. Joe, you'll have a comment about this. Maybe a guest coming soon. Magic Eden related, which is cool.
Right.
Already said yes. It's just saying let's do it tomorrow or what date, but it'll be a good one.
Did you tell them that I'm an asshole?
No, I
Okay.
didn't mention you. I didn't want to scare him off.
Okay, good. Just be like, he's a cranky little fucker.
I mentioned Henry because the person knows Henry.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
I name dropped, but
That's good. That's good.
yeah, but it worked. So
I'll be like, surprise, bitch.
surprise, it's me.
I'm here.
Oh fuck. I don't even know how to get into the story. How do I segue to this?
Go, good segue.
Diddy. There we go. Diddy. Where do we start?
What was
What's
the
the
one
starting
thing
point
that
now
you
that we're
wanted to
deep
say?
into it?
What was
Go
the
ahead,
one
John.
little thing that you wanted to say before you were like, we have one more thing and then we're gonna jump in? Was it the guest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. No,
Well,
we're ready
first
for
of
Diddy
all,
now.
so Diddy, right? We've gone over Diddy. Diddy's been arrested. The stories have been coming out about all of the footage, all of the different rappers. We've got all the footage coming. We've got all that sort of stuff, and that he's in the same unit as what's his fucking name?
SPF.
SPF. Yeah. So, which is interesting. I wonder if Diddy's just fucking power fucking him. Topping him, like fantasy topping him. But what's most interesting to me is A, how long he's been getting away with it, and B, like, who's wrapped up in all this shit, right? Like, it does seem as if he's been pulling power moves, having sex with like fucking all sorts of like hardcore rappers, and insinuating kind of Justin Bieber's been kind of getting, I don't know, S8 or whatever in this whole situation. But I'm curious to know, like, I'd love to talk about it. I just don't know how we jump into it, or like, what are your guys' feelings on all this stuff?
Feels good.
Feels good.
Feels good.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do we believe that Diddy did all of this? How about that?
Yeah, I think he's okay. Aside from the illegal stuff, he said he's done all of it. But if he's being on, he said he's done all kinds of crazy shit, and nobody disputes that. He doesn't dispute it, but it's has he crossed the line into illegal things? And I mean, at the very least, we have him on camera doing illegal things. We have photos of him. Beating a woman, which is nuts.
Was his ex-wife, right, or his
girlfriend
his wife?
or something?
Yeah, which almost has been the catalyst for all of this to kind of snowball into it happening. That's what I've been hearing, is that like this is kind of the catalyst of like, you know, the confidence of the prosecutors to kind of go forward with this sort of situation. And the weird thing about a lot of the charges is that it seems as if a lot of them don't lend themselves to high crimes, right? Like a lot of it seems like he transported prostitutes in order to film them having sex with his wife. Like totally fucking wild shit. But like, is that illegal, right? Like, is that, and I'm sure it is illegal, but I guess what I'm saying is that a lot of the charges that were stated, I almost feel like everyone almost was like, yeah, I'm assuming that's what he's doing on a daily basis, along with all the other celebrities. And as well as 1,000 bottles of oil. Sounds scandalous, sounds funny, sounds crazy. But like, I mean, if Henry said that he had like, you know, 50 bottles of oil in his man cave, I wouldn't blink an eye. You know what I mean? Like we'd all be like, yeah, that's kind of crazy, but like, it's not illegal, right?
No, you're right. But the scandalous stuff comes in play with like what you're looking at here. Did it involve minors? And it, who knows, but stuff feels weird. It's just vibe kind of stuff feels weird, but also like some of the earlier stuff when the video of his wife in the hotel came out, that came along with a report from like a bodyguard or someone who worked his like IT guy at his home.
Right.
Said that Diddy shot somebody in the house, and like the guests cover it up, and the police are involved. The police cover it up too, and that's the stuff where you start getting into like much shadier, much more legal territory. And then the talk that there's politicians involved too.
Right.
Okay, here's my question, because I don't really know about like the Bieber stuff other than like,
and there is nothing to know really yet about the Bieber stuff. It's
okay.
insinuated.
Yeah, and what? Just because like there's been some weird questions.
So Usher, who lived with Diddy for a year when he was 14 years old, Diddy released.
What's the age difference there between Usher and Diddy? I always assume they're like around the same age, but apparently not.
Usher was 14. Diddy was like an adult. I don't know how old he was or whatever, but you know, he's not Usher's age. Usher was a minor when Diddy was clearly an adult, but looks like
Hudah's Nugs. What is what's the age difference between Diddy and Usher?
Hey there. Diddy and Usher have an age difference of about 11 years.
Okay.
So 14, 24, 25. So 14-year-old and Diddy was 25, let's say, right?
Okay.
So Usher said on like the Howard Stern show that he was there living with Diddy, that there's a whole bunch of weird rumors, right? There's a weird rumor that Usher was sent to the hospital, and there were people that said that he went there to the emergency room because his anus was ripped open because of Diddy. That's just complete hearsay rumor type shit. But I'm assuming he did go to the emergency room at some point. Usher, like there are clips of Puff saying like they were like insinuating they slept in the same bed a lot. That type of thing, right? Like Usher was kind of groomed by Diddy. And so now with Bieber, Usher was the guy that put Bieber under his wing. Usher was kind of the guy that signed Bieber. And since Diddy was in the kind of line of artists with Usher, Diddy kind of was inherently, like in this clip, associated with Bieber, and it seemed like Bieber was fucking scared shitless of him. So there's insinuation that Usher brought Bieber to Diddy to do whatever he did with him.
Can you play this clip? I haven't seen it, so I'm just kind of curious.
Way, really? Yeah, let's play it.
He's scared. And listen to the fear in Bieber's voice.
You know what's funny? Back in the day when I'd seen this video before, because it's not new, obviously, but I thought it felt like it was acting, like it was like a staged little interaction between the two, and doesn't feel like it now. But okay, echo alert.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah. Starting to act.
So that's like a couple years after their first that like him hanging like through Usher, right? This is
So,
after, and
yeah,
and
and
it sounded like they've.
there's another clip of Diddy saying, "Once you turn 16, you're gonna have this Ferrari," and it was almost like the first time Bieber was like kind of interacting with Diddy, and Diddy was like, "You're staying with me for the next 48 hours," type situation at his house. So like, it's just,
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
this one. Let's check that one out.
Yeah.
Season, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
So, I mean, all I'll say about this is that like this is all just hearsay about Bieber, and a lot of this shit could just be like completely like stupid if people just kind of lived out in the open. You know what I mean? Like, but there's so much like seedy underbelly parties with all this weird shit happening and Diddy blackmailing people that it does seem as if like there's a lot of fucking shadiness going around and like blackmail with powerful figures because of all these parties that he's doing.
That's the stuff I hope comes out. I just do.
Me too.
I hope that, like, because like the bodyguard, Diddy's bodyguard, security, whatever.
Gene.
What is it?
I think his name is Gene.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. He said that he's got dirt on all kinds of politicians and other celebs, and they're very worried of that coming out, and that those videos are in the hands of the authorities or the government, actually. And I don't know who knows, but yeah, guys, it may be Epstein 2.0. It might be.
And typically the government, like they're not going to arrest him, deny him bail twice unless they fucking got the goods on him, right? He's in the kind of Epstein, the Harvey Weinstein sort of like camp of like they're getting denied bail, which, you know, that's saying a lot because a lot of the charges don't seem insane. It's not like blackmailing of public figures and yada, yada, yada. It's just, it seems as if this is the first step into the next step, which is videos of famous politicians, famous celebrities doing really fucked up shit.
But how is that going to come out? Because we've gotten nothing on Epstein.
Well, how's this? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, how it's going to come out supposedly is that like there's video of it. They've confiscated laptops and video that he's been collecting.
Yeah, but like, why? How would it come out? Because let's say in trial, it's not going to come out, right? Wouldn't it take people suing those people and getting subpoenas issued? I'm just like, you know, unless Diddy uses it as dirt to blackmail people, like, or somebody else has it. How does that ever come out? I'm assuming
he gets charged eventually with, you know, blackmailing of public figures or whatever, and that is submitted as evidence in which it's proven that Diddy was using video in which he obtained illegally by not letting them know that they were filmed during these parties.
Would they give their names though, or would they be like person number 2?
There's already been like Diddy's had sex with a Philadelphia rapper who used to date Nicki Minaj. Like there's already been hints of like Meek Mill and all these different people. And supposedly like Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay talking about this even before it happened. 50 Cent's doing a documentary on this. This could be
Netflix one.
It's not out yet, but I think it is going to be Netflix. This could be a nothing burger where he gets charged with a bunch of things that he does go to jail for, but it doesn't get to the salacious, juicy deliciousness like the Epstein flight logs that are just put out there, right?
Unless, I wonder if he's got stuff to blackmail people where like his kids would release something if like they're going to get, you know, if they're going to bring like harder charges against him or something.
I don't know. I mean,
has he come out that he's gay? Like, do we know that Puffy
no,
Diddy's gay, or is that not?
No, I
no.
think at this point that's just assumed or whatever. Like, I mean,
So they also said that like there's so much fucking craziness that's not legitimate. So like obviously I've talked to you about like the Republican talking points that are not cool to talk about because they're not real. And a lot of this stuff with Diddy is not legitimate until we actually get it proven out. And who knows if it'll ever happen. So we're just kind of talking shit and rumors right now. But like there has been rumors that he's had sex with Meek Mill and a bunch of other people, that people have walked in on him and done that sort of thing. And you know, there is actual evidence of him hiring male prostitutes to have sex with his wife and him filming it. There's also evidence that Cuba Gooding Jr. was like the Ron, I forget what his name was now, but Ron was this producer that Puffy contracted out for a year that never paid him. And he's suing Diddy for like essays with like Cuba Gooding Jr. rubbing on his fucking upper thighs and crotch area. And it was on Diddy's like yacht. And like Diddy was basically like, there's a bunch of stuff like where there is evidence of him doing crazy kind of gayish shit, but not straight up him fucking some dude and whatever, which is totally fine. Have gay sex and love it and be great about it. I think where we're getting it salacious and kind of crazy is that he's using it for blackmail, not coming out about it, and like, and kind of almost setting up people like this dude Ron to be the kind of liaison for having Cuba Gooding Jr. fucking some dude because he's pressuring him with winning a Grammy, with having whatever. And people say like his houses just have so many cameras around it that he's getting you to do this crazy shit so he can now put you in a position to kind of force you to do certain things. He's also have artists in which once they feel the limelight and the cash, once they don't have that anymore, he's a very personable guy to be like, hey, come on, I got you, da, 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 and then things happen and they're now, you know, whatever happens. I mean, there's been rumors for many, many years. And Henry, you're like me, you've been around for a long time. There's always been whispers of like hardcore hip hop artists that are like, you know, like booties, like they like they're gay dudes that like are front, like not are keeping it a secret for whatever fucking reason. But you know, that's kind of been around forever. And it seems like maybe this is kind of the where all that stuff has been happening, just never kind of out there in the open. So that's kind of my grasp on what's been going on with it.
I wonder why he's still because he's a flight risk. Is that why they denied him and he's a danger? Was that what
well, I think the real reason I think would be witness intimidation is a major reason why they don't want him having bail. That's what I think is the major reason. But yes, flight risk, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he was supposed to turn himself in on like a Tuesday, and they arrested him on the Monday for whatever reason. But yeah, there's definitely some fucking crazy shit, some weird shit. It could be some interesting, fun shit that comes out, but like it also could be absolutely nothing other than like sex trafficking, where you know you don't get all the good shit. You know,
how have we not had a Taproot Diddy collection? Taproot Diddies.
I bet
that's a
it's
great
there.
question.
I bet it's there. It's probably on Solana.
So, like,
Probably someone
Henry,
said
have you not gotten involved in like learning all this shit about Diddy?
No, I followed it, you know, so I did follow it and his arrest, and even way before when they raided his house in LA and Miami, maybe. But so I followed the arrest, have heard the, you know, the affiliations of Bieber without knowing exactly what it is. Jay-Z,
right?
I've heard the Obamas tossed in there.
Yeah,
you know, just the Meek Mill, of course, and then part of me is just like, well, how does it all tie together? And I don't want to say why does it matter? So we find out that there was a bunch of celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio all participating in.
Yeah, I think where it ties together. I think where it ties together is, and this kind of goes, and there's been rumors of sort of this type of thing across politics, entertainment, like Harvey Weinstein, the Epstein type of thing, like where celebrities, people of prominence, basically have these sorts of like connections in which they are sexually abusing their powers when it comes to minors, especially, and like kind of drugging, raping, all this sort of thing happening. And it sounds like to the typical person like me and you, like it's insane, right? Like it's conspiracy theory type shit, right? Like rich people conspire to have minors come to these parties where they have sex with them. They have other people, they blackmail everybody from doing all this sort of shit. And there's like all this stuff going on. And I think why it matters is that it's widespread. It is exactly the type of shit that people fucking fear, which is rich, powerful people taking advantage and doing the most disgusting shit with men, women, children, and getting away with it for decades and decades and decades, because when you're powerful, you are not held accountable. Epstein, Weinstein, Diddy, many people, they do this for decades and decades. We hear little whispers about it. We think those whispers are crazy. And then you realize that they're flying fucking people out to islands that are minors and getting away with it for fucking years and years and years and years and years. It's fucked up.
By the way, this video here, like when you look at this, I assume this is taken by like police or detectives. Doesn't this look like professional quality, like videographer?
Like yeah, like
it's is it AI?
It looked like to me because it's like on a caddy. It looks like it's like a
yeah, like somebody's like, hey, bring in the videographer here. It seems
get the drone out.
Oh, maybe this is AI, right? With all the lube right there.
Yeah, I think that's probably AI. I mean, I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, that would be weird if you had that in your.
And then on top of that, Henry, like the Ron, which is like this producer guy, claimed that Diddy and his son shot someone in a studio in the bathroom, and they got away with it.
Yep.
Shine, which is a rapper that went to jail for like decades, had a fucking awesome voice, had awesome raps, got charged because Diddy and J-Lo brought a gun allegedly into a club and shot somebody.
Oh yeah, and he didn't he give her the gun or something?
Yeah.
She snuck it into the club, and then he shot, and then Shine took the kind of ever. And Shine says that Diddy was bringing people in, witnesses, to say that he's the guy that was, the person that shot at the guy. So
okay, so help me out with the affiliations here, because obviously you had back in the day, you had like Tupac, right? You had the West Coast guys, right? So you had the Tupac, and then you had like Biggie and Diddy East Coast guys, right?
Diddy, Biggie, Craig Mack, those like I shouldn't even put Biggie and Diddy were the big East Coast guys. Snoop, Death Row, and Tupac, and even Dre, kind of in that area, were the kind of West Coast people. And there was a bunch of affiliations, like they said Mobb Deep, and like Biggie's crew was like, I forget what they were called, but they were like Junior Mafia. But they weren't even on the map. It was Biggie, Diddy, and and Pac and Death Row were the two kind of people that went out.
Okay, where does 50 and Eminem play into it? Because like I know they're aligned, and like M is with
Dre was with Death Row.
Yep.
But Death Row became just a fucking shit show, and Dre got out. And I think Dre basically got screwed on some levels, but he was happy to pay or give up whatever rights to his music that he had to Suge to get out of it. And he started, I think it's called Interscope. Interscope's one of the first, if not the first artist that they signed was Eminem. And so Eminem blew up, and then Interscope with Jimmy Iovine, Dre, and Eminem, the next biggest artist they signed was 50 Cent. And so 50 Cent is kind of that kind of street guy that whatever is like likes to fuck around and all this sort of stuff. But the relationship between Dre with Death Row, which he did not have a good relationship, that's kind of that's where that came from. Like how
Suge's in prison, right?
Suge's in prison. That's right.
Okay, so Diddy and 50 do not get along.
Diddy and 50 do not get along. No.
Okay.
And Eminem, that's why if you've listened to Eminem's battle rap with MGK,
when he calls out
basically-
Diddy at the end, kind of.
He
But
says,
then he said
"Hey."
he's joking.
He says, you know, I'm joking, Diddy. I love you. When he said that, basically, Diddy paid for the murder of Tupac. That's basically what he said in that rap.
But
video.
then why does he kind of apologize at the end and say, like, you know, I love you?
Well, have you heard his new rap where he says like RAPER? Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't spell rapper without the P. Did I? Did he? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it does seem as if it's an industry known that Diddy is this type of fucking guy, and it does seem as if, and this is the crazy thing, he got away with it for many, many years, and no one said shit. Ems does seem to be coming out with some fucking balls to pull his card a little bit. 50's doing a documentary. They said there's a guy that was arrested for Pac's murder, which was a California guy that had some affiliation with Diddy. That he said that Diddy would pay him $1 million to do it, but I don't think that actually happened. But there was that sort of thing. So Eminem saying it does seem as if there's an insinuation that Diddy was involved. And there's an insinuation that Diddy's a fucking crazy shit. And in my opinion, when I grew up with Diddy, he seemed like kind of like a bitch. In my opinion, like he seemed like the guy that was like, take that. He was like, he didn't seem like the street guy. But like, it does seem as if he was more involved in the street shit than I was, that I didn't give him credit for, because he did seem kind of like a bitch. But he was the guy that was a business guy, taking advantage of everybody. Did seem like he was talking with some gangster shit, and does seem like he's okay with putting his hands on a woman in a hotel, and it doesn't look like that's the fucking first time he's ever done some shit like that. So,
dude, it's Rico stuff. That's part of why it's such a big deal too. This is full on, mafia gangster shit, which is what they always try to portray. But that's why it's being taken so seriously too. It's pretty.
Well, Rico shit is interesting because you can charge someone not just with one thing, but like just a plethora of different charges, and it's hard to fight all those different charges. So it's interesting.
So does Diddy go down? That's the question.
Well, it's kind of like whenever like this sort of like the feds come after you like this and they bring charges against you. I was told they don't bring charges without having the fucking goods, and that he's looking at a minimum of 15 years.
So he might plea.
Well, he's probably going to get 15 just for whatever charges he has now. Who knows? Like, the thing that most of the internet and all these other people are saying is that like this is the tip of the iceberg. And if it's the tip of the iceberg, this should be really interesting, because the most interesting thing to me is watching all of the people like Cat Williams and all these other people that have experiences with them that have been kind of calling it out, but they're saying like, this goes far, and it should be interesting for people like us to see are the powers that be going to try to clean this up as easily as possible and not call the names of other prominent people that could be called out.
Is Ashton Kutcher involved? Is Ashton Kutcher a murderer? That's what we're asking now. The best part of all this shit is anybody who's connected, everybody's out like pulling every thread fucking possible. And yes, now there's these conspiracy theories that this murder in the early 2000s, because Ashton Kutcher was best buds with, who is the other curly head fuck from,
the guy he's in for rape.
Yes, they're best buds. There was a murder back. Wait, get this though. There was a murder 20-something years ago or whatever. That
his girlfriend.
Kutcher, oh, it was this girl? Dude, Ashton Kutcher was at the house after the murder. He had to make calls, and he's like, oh, well, guys, I got to explain why my fingerprints are on the door. He's like, I came to the house during that time, but I left when nobody answered the door.
What?
Yeah, there was his ex, and I'm not as versed in this, but there was definitely an ex-girlfriend with him that he was actually like, I think he was a suspect in the murder, and he had like, it was some crazy shit. Like, it was one of those things where you're like, boy, it seems like he's involved in this type of shit. And then the Danny Masterson stuff as well, which he's been raping. He was guilty for rape. So like, and on top of that, fucking Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis wrote a fucking character letter for those guys. It's just there's so many fucked up shit that happens with
characters.
Can you go back to that Ashton Kutcher headline that you just said?
Popped up a thing I couldn't close without subscribing, so I'm trying to pull up another.
Okay.
But
How
there's just
weird.
it feels like there's a lot more going on, and it's much shadier, and all it's just nice finally, even if it's unrelated, to see some of that start to crumble and be pulled back. You know, that the curtain pulled back a bit.
So they're saying that like Ashton called Danny in this time, and I do think that Danny was the guy that was almost the celebrity longer than the other people of that 70s show. So Danny was like involved in like, you know, having a little bit more being the wily vet. Like let's say all of us get involved in some gangster shit and some like Hudah, you know, gets onto some 4chan and murders somebody. Like he calls up like, you're the vet, Henry. Like he's gonna call you up out of us and like kind of be like, what do I do here? And you're like, well, you know, I've got friends here and here's how you deal with that. You know what I mean? Like he called up Danny because he trusted Danny during that time because he was the celebrity for longer and he knew how to deal with some crazy shit. Because it does seem like Danny was doing some fucked up shit on top of all this. Dude, where's my car? I was right, Lemon. What the fuck? Where's my car? And let's burn it because there's evidence in it.
Dude,
wow, this is so weird.
Dude, there's just so much. It goes so deep. Nobody knows what to believe about anybody.
See, this is the type of conspiracy theories that I dig, right? Like, get me involved.
So
I don't want to hear about orbs. I want to hear about this type of shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, you should watch this.
Orbs, an orb sighting.
Great.
Check
I
it.
fucking jinxed this. I'm so sorry.
Everywhere. The timing that's unfucking believable. I just had it queued up. Unbelievable. Any other thoughts on Ashton or Leo or?
I was curious about the ApeCoin DAO drama, but maybe that's tomorrow or.
Well, we can. I don't think there's too much.
Let me say this: I fucking love Leonardo DiCaprio. He's like I love him so much.
Number one.
Yeah.
Inception's one of my favorite movies.
It's great.
And not only that, he's done so much good shit. Like I'm borderline, you know, like if he asked to make out with me, I wouldn't. But I'd be like, if I was, that would be the dude that maybe I did. Like I have like a talent crush on that dude.
What if he was to offer you?
Go ahead, go on. I'm listening.
400,000 mudang.
Does that? How much is that? $14?
Yeah. No, I'm guessing it's probably like.
I can only get 1.4
250 soul, give or take.
Yeah. What would I have to do? Would I have to do something?
You gotta just make out with him for like 15 minutes, like a heavy petting session.
Make out?
It's a petting session. You're both like you're fully clothed, but like your tongue is in his mouth, and you're getting real sensual with him.
I don't have to get.
I hope there's not people in my store.
I love the descriptions. Why do I have to get sensual?
It's just part of the agreement.
Like if I said yes and then I was like, okay, I'll do it, but like, and then you're like, are you watching? Being like, Joe, I'm not believing you. You need to get more sensual. Like, is that what you're saying? Like,
maybe I'm in the corner. Maybe I'm in the corner, just making sure the rules are followed. But you're laying down. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna set the scene. You're
like,
laying
I don't
down.
believe this love is happening.
Yeah, you're laying down. This is not a peck. This is like you're looking into his eyes open. 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You're gonna get an erection.
Wow.
You have to. I don't know how, but you're going to.
Come on, dude.
Would you do it?
First of all, you're getting too excited about the whole thing and not even like explaining.
I'm just wondering where the line is for you.
Like you're saying like I'm gonna get the mudang as my payment. How much am I gonna get?
I said like 200 soul. He's gonna pay you 200 soul and a node monk.
That's not that much.
What is 200 soul? I don't even know what that means.
Okay,
30 grand.
He's probably 30 grand or so.
30 grand and a node monk.
I'm not doing that, dude. I'm not doing it.
Okay. 10 Bitcoin. 10 Bitcoin.
Ooh. I might. I mean, like to make out with a dude, like
no, like it's not just that. You're like laying down, eyes open.
I do acting, so like I would do that for like my payment, like that's my scene or whatever. But like if you're saying like, hey, dude, if you're watching me, like because it does seem as if part of this is you having to watch me. I don't know if I would do it. It seems like you want, like honestly, it doesn't seem like the weird part.
I'm not watching, but somebody is there to verify that it's happening.
Okay, and they have, and they're the ones, saying like,
it's Lemon.
It's Lemon or Marty.
I might even trust Gravity. I'd let Gravity be all three of them.
And Lemon's like,
It's got to be
time out,
live
let's-
streamed. Everybody.
Is Lemon like, let's see if Joe has an erection now? Like what's
They
happening?
they each get to play a wild card during it, but none of it will include penetration.
No, I don't think I want to do it. I mean, just because like you're joking about it, like if it's a serious conversation, I'll have.
No, it's a serious conversation. I mean, I'm making light of it, but I'm just trying to understand the line.
Okay, okay, I'll be serious about this, right?
Yeah.
I'm an actor, and I feel as if I was doing an acting job, I could kiss Leo, right? Anybody, really.
Yeah, anybody. But Leo laying down, eyes open.
See, now you're being a douchebag.
Like, I'm setting the scene. You're an actor, and I'm just saying, like, this is not, you're just gonna walk up and like give like a Saturday Night Live 5-second makeout session with a dude.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Here's what I'll say. No, here's what I say. No, because it seems as if if anyone's getting an erection right now,
I'm not. No,
because you're going into some deep shit right
Lemon,
now.
Gravity, and Marty are in the corner.
Not only are you getting me involved in this, you're getting Lemon involved in this. You're getting your sexual bounds. It knows no bounds. You want to get everyone in this show involved in your sexual perversions. You're like the Diddy of this show.
You get to pick one. You get to pick one of them for verification. That's all.
I don't know.
Because I'm paying the Bitcoin.
What about these? What's up with these? You're paying?
I'm paying the Bitcoin.
This is the most fucked up show we've ever had, by the way.
Anyway, let's go on to the orbs, dude. Here's what I would say. If you gave me six, if I got $1 million, I would do a makeout with Leo. But if someone was there being like, more, harder.
Well, you're an actor. It's like the producer, the director is like,
be a fucking professional.
Joe,
Nobody has to tell you.
Yeah, if it's a movie, yeah, but not just like it's not like one of those movies that Diddy has, or like
it's not a movie to him, but it can be a movie to you.
I don't know, dude. No, dude, I'm not. First of all, can we? I'm going to request we take this show off of YouTube for the rest of our
Who's
world.
today's show brought to the audience by? Who sponsored this show? What's the baby oil brand?
Ooh, Johnson's Baby Oil.
Baby Oil.
Johnson & Johnson's Baby Oil.
That's it. I will make sure to go out that way. Okay. From 2013, orbs captured from a plane. You know it. I'm so deep down that rabbit hole. It's not aliens. It's us. It's our tech. There's all kinds of patents that show how this works. It's fucking wild. Of course, I couldn't explain it because it's crazy technical. But like, I'm not even kidding. I buy it. I absolutely buy it. It's not alien tech. It's our tech. We probably cracked this code probably 20-ish years ago, and there's so fucking much. But yeah, this is from 2003.
But real quick, when you say that, you mean it's us, but present day us or time traveler us?
Well, I think the orbs are like drones, because there's a lot of talk. The weirdest thing when you go down the rabbit hole is hearing guys who talk about it. And they start talking about people piloting these crafts and how, our pilots get so disoriented because what these things actually do is they're time machines. They actually warp time. That's how they travel so fast. And when they explain it like that, you're like, this guy doesn't sound crazy. He's like a very smart engineer or what, you know what I mean? Like, these are real. I'm like, they can't be lying the way they talk about it. They can't be. So it's like, where is this coming from? So yeah, they're not piloted now. They're drones, which makes a lot of sense why they're happening more, because they couldn't really do it with the pilots. They would get so disoriented and sick from the little time travel.
This part right here, that little part where it's just like, phew, is crazy.
It looks real, but also who knows? But that's the exact same looking thing as the airplane thing, the disappearing one, M379
MH370.
But yeah, here's another. This one's from 2013. Again, same or very.
Funny they always fly in threes.
Well, it's something about the triangles, how it makes that little fucking point.
By the way, I did watch the rest of that Modern Wisdom video podcast.
Me too.
With Eric Weinstein or whatever his name is. And I will say this. I'll say I'm just about what you're right. I'm not into this conspiracy theory of the orbs, unfortunately, Hudah, but it's good that you're questioning this sort of thing. I'm sorry that this is not one of the things that I get into, but it's good that you are questioning and you're learning about it, and it's a good thing. So it's interesting. It leads to an interesting thought process, and it's a process that I think most people should be on, because we fall into the sort of humdrum sort of accept everything as is mentality in the world. And so, yeah, kudos to you. It's just not something that I'm into.
I get it, because it's like out there, and it's like, yeah, it's not gonna be interesting to everyone. The interesting thing for me is like the Diddy and celebrity stuff, where we just know there's so much more going on. We know it. We're so sure of it. This is similar. I've always believed there's much more going on with tech and just all that. There's just so much more. So I'm in.
Yeah. My issue is that, like, I used to be into all these conspiracies. I'm totally down with people that are into it. It's just a matter of, like, I've got a family now. My main concern is like keeping them okay. So, like, I don't have time to deal with a lot of just frivolous bullshit.
Dude, the older you get, the more you have to, like, budget your time. You got to pick and choose what you can even be interested in.
I'm looking forward to the times in which I can dive down these rabbit holes in a real and here's something that you need to know about me. I'm insane when it comes to, like, I don't just do a little. I need to know everything about everything in order to feel comfortable at talking about it. And a lot of times on here, I talk about things that I don't know, and it drives me crazy. So then I have to kind of go and do my thing, which is stupid. But
no,
yeah.
I understand. I do. Meta unveiled their new AR glasses today. They look cool. They figured it out. It's not the Apple big old goggle things. It's glasses. And like those Ray-Ban AR glasses worked really well. People liked them. This is now taken AR, putting them in smaller glasses, comfortable, and it's just pop-ups. You know, like, it's not pass-through tech. It's literally like you're looking directly at shit, and there's just overlays. Yeah. It's pretty fucking cool. I forget the name of these, like Orion or something like that. But those were just announced today. I don't know if they announced a price or anything for them. They did announce some new a new model of the Meta Quest 3. It's like $299, so making that cheaper. Augmented reality shit's awesome. So, I think.
And let me say this about Eric Weinstein or whatever. Like, he's, you know, I don't retract what I would say about him before, but I do think that he's a smart guy. I think he has interesting takes on things. I do think that, like, and not just him, but in general, there's a lot of, like, expert people that almost have their shit for sale right now just because, like, they can make money on podcasts and that type of thing. And so people like normal people kind of, and I'm Henry, I'm sorry that I'm making you as an example here, but you know how, like, Henry doesn't understand something. Sometimes he's like, oh, this guy's really smart. He must be kind of like a genius, but it's more so like expert people saying things that sound smart. And a lot of it is smart, but there's also a lot of, like, kind of different sort of motivations that I think are disingenuous a lot of times for the sake of, like, their popularity or whatever it might be.
Funny enough, dude, I didn't send you guys the clip, right? You guys asked me to, and I didn't send it because I went back and rewatched it. And ultimately, like, I left thinking two things. One, nothing meaningful was said. It's like Lemon said it yesterday, and I was like, I'm like, that's a good point. I don't remember, like, a standout moment. And I went back and re-listened. I'm like, whatever. But also, I don't agree with the way he framed. I don't agree with his interpretation of how she was using that phrase, too. I always took it for her as just meaning let's move past it and let's keep getting, like, improved.
I listened to it, and I walked away thinking I must have missed something because I was like, and I even thought about it today. I'm like, was there, like, a giant chunk of it that I missed? Because none of it seemed, like, profound.
I think his analogy of the house that they built a highway around, I think his point was, like, she is full on here to implement Marxist policies and get the fuck out of the way. I think that's what he was. You're absolutely,
and it didn't even make sense, that whole nail house. I think it was called the nail house, where it's nail like house. They build around. Yeah. You're right. So if you listen to it, he basically says, like, win the world, or win the world. Octavia AOC says, win the world, or whatever that is, and that's kind of the what did he say? That was kind of in I forget what he said, but in the Communist Manifesto written by Karl Marx or whatever. And then he said that, like, the unbound, like, unburdened by what has been is Kamala saying that, and that's in a different thing where he even said it, and he's like, it's not the exact quote, And if you actually look at the Communist Manifesto at the end, what they're talking about, he does say win the world or whatever, which is like a thing that is part of the Communist Manifesto, which I make the argument that like socialism and communism aren't as like the fucking aren't as like Satan as what a lot of is made out to be by the powers that be, but whatever, that's a different conversation. But
I'm with you there.
He basically was saying that like AOC said this, that's in the Communist Manifesto. I'm basically using this as saying that Kamala's statement is meaning that as well, which I think is complete nonsense if you actually listen to what Kamala said. So he was saying that like, oh, it's not a direct quote and the translation's different. My question is, why would he go there? It seemed like he was doing a lot of work to kind of make it more interesting and nefarious than it actually was, which did a discredit for me because he did say a lot of interesting things in the beginning.
Yep.
I
think it flowed like that, Joe. I think it flowed the way it did, and maybe it was a little disjointed because I think he even said in that clip he wasn't expecting the question.
Yeah.
And so and sometimes even as smart as you are and whatever, sometimes it's not going to come out great. Because I think like just hearing us talk about it live here, I'm starting to get what the point he tried to make, which was she says that so many times. I think it was 100 times she said that phrase very purposefully. She's not dumb. She knows what she's doing, and this is her reasons why. This is her background. This is what she's trying to do.
Well, the thing that bothered me about what he said, now that you remember, is he said what they're trying to kind of state is you must destroy everything that was before in order to get to a new place. Yeah. And I think that is a very dramatic way, and him almost taking a thought and making it nefarious when it didn't need to be.
But that seems fine. That to me sounds like the point is destroy the awful parts.
Yes, but I think what is more saying is that it evolved, like the bad things need to evolve to something new. You don't have to destroy what's before. You have to know that what is before does not work, and it's brought us to a level in which there needs to be change, and that we need to change. Destroying, if you talk about the American economy and saying that you have to destroy everything, that's fucking scary. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to destroy things. You just have to know that there's issues and have to deal with them in a way, and we can discuss what's the most appropriate way to move forward. You know what I mean? So all I'll say is that, like, I liked the guy enough. I don't think he's some sort of fucking complete asshole, but it does seem as if a lot of the things he was saying were for dramatic purposes, to make a point, to make himself more interesting, to gather followership for his podcasts, because there's a motivation to, I don't know, be more interesting. He kept on saying like, welcome to my world or something like that. And it seemed very, it's a smart guy that I feel as if is trying to be cool. He's trying to make money on a podcast space. And you have to be careful with some of that shit sometimes.
Got to be careful. All right. We got a boogie.
Yeah, I got to go.
You got you got to go too. All right, let's get out of here. I got the Little Noun Show coming up in 15 minutes. Gentlemen, have a great evening. Everybody watching, the same to you. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening. The Fever are live in an hour and 15 minutes. Game 2, can't wait. It's going to be killer. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
We're the non-fungible idiots, don't you know? Banging our heads to the rhythm of the code. We don't care about dollars or the shiny blade. We're just holding to zero. It's our everything. Round tripping positions, that's how we roll. We won't make a dollar, won't sell a thing. We're the zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, our anthem we sing. Zero holders, we're the kings of the sea. The non-fungible idiots who live in the tree. We're all on the zero, it's our way to be. In the world of NFTs, we're wild and free.
Dude, that was almost time perfect. You see that?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
That was pretty cool. Have a great night, man.
All right, man. Good luck with your show. I'll talk to you later.
See you, man. Bye.
Bye.